call the meeting to order. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? I think we get along in camera, so that's good. Any motion to approve?
So moved. So second.
Second. All those in favor of the agenda, say aye. Aye. Yeah, motion carried. Well, no public hearing. Delegation to presentations are done tonight. We got one confirmed finally for the third meeting of the month. Artwork. The minutes of March 7th. All of us have reviewed those, gone through those. Any errors or omissions? Or anything missing? Anything missing that should be added? Because 100 years from now, somebody's going to read that and say, why did they do that?
Why are they doing that?
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
March 7th.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Business arising from the minutes. There was none. None. Let's move into the reports then. Acting CAO, welcome back.
So my report's in the package. The NSFM conference is coming up May 4th through 6th. That'll be at White Point, and they are having a limited number of registrants. So if you do wish to attend, can you please let me know as soon as possible. I did book some rooms, and that would be great if you could let me know.
It's a good conference if you're available. It's not likely I'll be there. It's a week and a half after my knee surgery, so yeah.
So the FCM conference, I was able to get confirmation from FCM that we could register as one unit for the town of Digby for the virtual part, so I did. I've reached out to Norm on some recording and such for the conference, so we'll work that out as time goes forward, but we're not till June 2nd through 5th, so got a little bit of time there.
They will be here?
So it has to take place in one place, so it's probably better if we do it through here.
Okay.
So, and if we can record them, that'll be even better, because then we can watch them at your leisure, so, yeah.
Well, if worst comes to worst, we just set a camera up there recording. That's not a quality, but it's much cheaper than 26
I mean, I went through the agenda. I mean, there were a couple things that I'd like to listen to, but I didn't want to spend all day.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The town hall exterior renovation tenders went out. We requested 3 local contractors submit bid for the construction phase of the project. So we got only 2 tenders back. So we awarded the construction contract for town hall renovation to Hollywood Construction with an anticipated start date of June 6th.
Just remind ourselves, there will be an announcement on funding for this. So. Just to add to that, I did speak to Ed, and he spoke to me today. He spoke to it briefly a while ago, but I suggested that we see some kind of conceptual drawing of what it's going to look like, so the council is aware in case we have input or somebody on the sidewalk has a concern about it.
So we also did the invitational tender to local suppliers for the materials. So we did receive 3 tenders back for that, and they are listed there. So we've awarded the tender to Wilson's Home Hardware to supply the materials.
We get staff discount.
We're not staff.
See what I can do.
The Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program application was submitted on time. That was April the 1st, and was a little bit of a hiccup, but we got it through. If received, that will provide us 73.3% of the project cost to do the Mount Street upgrade, and 40% from the federal government, 33.3% from the provincial government, and it's much needed in order to complete that project. So we probably won't know for a little bit of time, but I'm assuming, we're quite confident that we'll get some of the money there. The Active Transportation Fund, that has also been submitted for creation of an active transportation plan, and that is for $50,000, and that's been on the radar for a little bit as well, so let's see if we get that.
Any questions, sir?
No, that's good though. Yeah, that's fun to get done.
Well, Mount Street is an expensive project, and it's
Yeah.
only climbing more and more because of the cost of
Yeah.
materials and all
Yeah.
that stuff,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we need the funding to move ahead with that.
Yeah.
And the mayor of Rosstown would be happy, because he suggested we plant potatoes there. Yeah.
Just wanna make fish cakes.
Yes. Diggory Recreation Report.
Reports in your package. Any questions? We'll try to answer them.
I just, one there, I didn't read it or did I, but, the extra week for hockey and skating, was that successful, or was it?
Not to the extent that we wanted to.
Yeah, but it was used.
Some of the ice that they booked, they didn't use, but they were billed for it. So.
Yeah, okay, well, they booked it.
Your electronic sign getting repaired again?
Pardon me?
Your electronic sign being repaired again?
Yes.
Is it?
That's the one up there on the.
Yeah, I noticed it was gone.
Yeah.
I hoped it was repaired and not vandalism.
It's getting painted or white wood.
Yeah, there you go.
Is the curling club struggling with volunteers and referral tournaments?
I think every organization is struggling with repairs
That's
or
what-
volunteers right now.
Yeah. It's a shame, yeah, everybody's looking for people.
Yeah.
Waste Jack. Oh, yeah, anything to add there? It's,
No, the package is there. Trying to think what's the major issue at the time. Their draft budget, I guess, was the biggest thing. That was included there. No big significant changes, but there is a cost increase to new carts because they're constantly buying them.
Yeah.
Everything else is going down.
Yeah, I heard they go through a lot of those green carpets time and time again.
They do
Mine got chewed to the bottom.
that new. Did you get the new version?
I have
One
a
with round
smaller, rounder
Did you?
bottom, yeah.
They say the round one is good because they haven't had any rodents chew through
Okay.
those yet.
I had the old flat one.
Yeah.
That got
With the
chewed.
vents in the bottom, that was
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, that just invited.
They were talking a lot too about, they're trying to push for a front end charge on lobster traps. So that every time a fisherman bought a lobster trap, it would be like tires, when you buy your tires,
Yeah.
there's already environmental fee built in. Because now they're finding that there's a company that will recycle everything, and they have an American name, American manufacturing, but they're actually a Canadian company.
Okay.
It's kind of funny, but
Yeah.
they actually recycle everything from the weight that's in them to the raw materials to the rope to. So they were looking at trying to work with those people to get them recycled completely instead of having fishermen pile them in a property they own in the county or.
And they sit there forever, yeah.
Yeah, so they're still working on that, but it sounds pretty good.
But they're thinking about putting a levy on the traps?
Yeah.
See
Like
how that goes.
An upfront fee.
Okay.
But they've got a lot. They've been to our area and canvassed some of the fishermen, and they have agreed in principle that.
Oh, okay,
You know,
good.
it's a good idea,
Yeah.
so they don't have to get rid of them, they don't have to pay. And some fishermen who were taking them to get rid of them had to pay a fee, you know, forget the
Yeah,
per tonnage fee.
yeah.
To get rid of them at some of the municipal waste sites. So this would eliminate that and sort of encourage them to load them on a trailer and get rid of them in the proper way.
Well, I think the vast majority are conscious of that, yeah.
Yeah. And there was one of the people on, I forget his name, that's on the panel, he's an ex-fisherman, he said he admitted, you know, back in the day, that they would just dump them over the side if they were, you know, no longer being useful. So hopefully get rid of that sort of thing.
Good, any questions on the report? Anybody else? Special Committee of the Whole. So this was, last council, we had, made a motion to bring these grants and community grants for approval of council so that staff can throw those in the budget as they work through the budget. If that's the case, we want to continue, we need a motion to approve these.
We make that motion that we adopt the recommendation of our committee of the whole for our grant for organizations for 2022 and 2023.
I'll second that.
Yeah, and I allow staff to put it in there so when they present the budget to us, they already know what's, and same with what's coming up here in a little bit, so. Okay, all those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Digby Area Tourism Report.
Same, the report's in your package. Try to answer any questions we can.
Oh, we got lots of statements here soon.
Yeah.
So I guess there was some feedback with the speed at which the levy was going in.
We'll be discussing that here shortly this evening. It wasn't a lot of people. Anyway, that's what Leslie and I and the ward and Jeff's last 4 days have been tied up in, so. Good. Yeah, hopefully. It looks like it's gonna be a good summer, and I understand that Doug Ralph is doing a good job.
He is.
Yeah, from what I hear, yeah. I have received a lot of the status report, or I think we all did that somewhere.
No, and I'm sure, if you wish, he would come to council.
Well, yeah,
Once everything gets.
yeah. I think we're probably gonna have that at council.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Correspondence, none. New business, salary scales. Leslie can speak to this, but this is a report prepared by Director of Public Works. He feels that salaries at that department are becoming a challenge in hiring people and hiring qualified people. So he did a survey of local contractors as to what they're paying for salaries. He felt were more competitive, that might make it easier to hire people or people with certain qualifications. So I had some questions and I kind of threw out to him. And this is really part of our budget discussion moving forward. I just had some discussion around are our salaries out of line when you consider the benefits and the pension plans and the guaranteed work hours that our staff get compared to local contractors that may work, may work for months and no work or whatever. So that's the only questions I have on this, or probably we'll have more. But. So if anybody's had a chance to read this and get comments, he would love to hear back from us.
Well, it always comes back down to money. Can we afford it? Can we afford not to do it? But
so out of that wage that they're making, like that he's proposing, how much of that is benefits that they pay out? Because I think we had some issues in the past with people not wanting to take the benefits.
Some opt out because their partners had it, but some just didn't want to pay the benefits.
Yeah.
Or join the pension plan. And I know a few years ago we had some retire and wished they had participated in the pension plan at that time. And I don't know, some firms make that mandatory.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Right? Is do we do that or
But the other thing we need to look at, I think, is if this leads to salary reviews for the whole organization. So suddenly your scales, everything are going up and up.
Oh yeah. Well, soon it's going to be 15. So you know what happens right now.
Yeah.
13, and it's going to be 15 in another year and a half. So
somebody that's making 15 today that's been here for quite a while, the minimum wage becomes 15.
And that's student out of school making $15 an hour.
Right, so natural inclination is you've got to raise them up.
Yeah.
and the cost of living is going up almost every week. I mean, it's just.
Maybe our whole salary needed to be reviewed, not just that, but everybody.
So as per our policy,
Go ahead. Yeah.
So as per our salary administration policy, Tom it is a requirement to do a full salary review. I think it's every 2 years. So the last one we did was April 1st of 2021, which only would have been a year ago now. So I did want to just let you know that there was a complete salary review done last year by Tom, so.
And at that time, there weren't any changes, was there? We didn't implement any changes.
I think there was one notable, how do I want to say that? There was one red flagged.
We froze because
right.
of, high,
At that time, but,
I remember that.
Yeah.
One thing that I believe the Director of Public Works was indicating both in the report and when he spoke to us before, is the scope of some of the projects that we've got our Public Works crew that are taking on. And if we're comparing them directly to, let's say, a spot like Wolfville, where those guys cut grass and pick up garbage, it's not quite the same as if you have them operating and doing some of the projects that the guys here are working on. I think that's why I put the examples in there for tender price versus actual cost price.
Oh, yes, and that has over the years saved us some money by doing it in-house. That's,
And I guess further to Councillor Bartlett's comments, it would be, and sort of in line with what Councillor Turnbull said, if we've got someone new that's starting out and they're in that lower end wage, can they afford to put their 7% towards a pension? And I know we see it more and more where even a wage of $16, $18 an hour, people can't afford to save anything. Even the cost of going to NSCC can set you back by $25,000 once you throw in your living costs for 2 years. And it's expensive for folks that are starting out, student or not, to be able to save. So the slight increase, we have to look at it as, well, I'm going to guess the 4.1% is probably what he found for inflation online. Is that
that's the number as of December.
Okay.
That's the number we always take as of the administration policy.
Yeah.
We always take as
Right
of
now,
December 31st.
right now it's a little over 5%, which will adjust itself at some point, but right now it's 5%.
Oh yeah, it's been bad. We had months where it was like 7.7%.
Yeah.
So, so I guess what I'm saying is there's probably a little bit or a lot to take into it. Probably good to speak to the Director of Public Works on it when we make that decision. And I'll throw this out there as well because it sort of ties into what you guys said about a full review. Is he did tell me that this would be in the package, and he said if we would like to exclude him from any increase above what inflation is, he would be accepting of that. So that way he is not put on a different track than what Matthew would be, where they're relatively equivalent in terms of their level within the town.
Yeah, that's nice that he would consider doing that, but
that causes problems down the road.
Exactly. So if he's not here 5 years down the road or 10 years, then we have to make some adjustments there. The other comment I had is Leslie did go looking for somebody, and they did a town Facebook page and the town website, and got a few applicants. But I suggest to get more coverage is to go to like Indeed.com or someplace like that, or some of the official job finding sites, because you saw some of the applicants that you got.
Is there anything even at the NSCC in Middleton, like Middleton, Yarmouth? I mean, there's people coming out of there as carpenters and laborers and stuff too, right? So
A lot of it's either you have your certificates, wastewater and water, or are you able, prepared to go and get those. There was one that applied.
Yeah, we do have one applicant from out west that does have some wastewater certification. So.
That in itself can save you a lot of money if you don't have to put it through the course and pay all those fees to it. So.
Just to comment about what you were saying about, I think you're describing a symptom and not a cause when you talk about the package and opting out because you're on the lower end of the salary scale. The fact of the matter is we're going to have a package. Package costs the town and taxpayers a lot of money. So in order to defer some of that cost, you have to have everybody buying on it. So that's why a lot of companies do, like the mayor said, it's alternative one.
a lot of young people don't realize what it is either, right?
Absolutely. No. And you say that they can't afford it, but they cannot not afford to have it either. So there has to be something, we have to work together with it.
It's insurance, you don't need it until you need it.
Yeah, exactly, that's what it's there for. yeah. So I don't discount that we probably may have to do something like that, but I think we can have a discussion as he offered, to have a discussion with him in detail.
Is there, the provider of our plan, is there someone that could come and speak to us? Because I know that there may be varying levels and different amounts of copay that you could change in order to get some of those rates down. Is
So we're
that-
actually in a very large pool, Joy, what's the proper term for that?
Well, you're a member of a large group, yeah, it's through the,
It's through NSFA.
Yeah, so we're part of that
Yeah, we're all
NSFW
getting
provider
it.
group. Yeah, we're getting like huge benefit because we're part of such a big group,
Gotcha.
but
you're,
I understand what you're saying.
But it would be nice to see the
Yeah.
breakdown, because we're
Yeah.
not employees of the benefit plan, so we don't see what the breakdown is.
and I do have met with staff. I'm in a much larger group, I'm in a group of 10 or 12,000 people, but I pay $423 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the interesting part, what you pay, like I was paying $260 on Blue Cross, and then I got on my wife's and it was like $20 a month.
Yeah, see, you have that advantage, but.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it'd be nice to know, like even,
Yeah.
like you said, it'd be nice to know what they're actually taking out.
Well, they can, you can
There's-
provide us the literature here.
There's a question too, Mike, are you able to join the towns? You're technically a town employee.
I don't think so.
They don't look at us as a town employee, but some municipalities, and I haven't looked at this for years, have reached out to their pension plan and their group plan and said, can we join? And some have got that through, but usually they look at us as having a very short lifespan.
Yes.
So giving up your existing group to join the town one, and then 4 years later, you're no longer a counselor, and then you have to go back and join another one can be difficult.
Right.
Especially if you've acquired, like an example for me is my group plan at 423 is coming to an end. I have to buy a personal plan. If I maintain the same level of coverage, it goes to $700 a month. So it puts me in an awful bind. I'm probably becoming an EA to one of the planners in the company just so I can keep my group plan. But if not, I have to reduce my coverage severely to maintain just $400 a month. So that's why they've always said no counselors and group plans and stuff. But there was some units that was discussed at the UMSA one time. We can find out. Yeah, but you have a group plan through work. You have one through work. You're not likely to give those up.
Oh, yeah, and my specific thing was actually the pension side, not the.
The pension side too.
investment.
The benefits.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
benefits, I think anyone would be absolutely crazy to want back their dollar or, a few dollars a month or
Yes.
$400 a month for it, that would.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can get the literature. They can present it to us. The only thing is, we can't tell staff, no, you can't have drug coverage at $1,500 or whatever, but when's the last time they met with you fellas on the group? I know Matthew talked about it not too long ago, about the increase.
It's been a long time.
You should invite him in. Yep, and then we can have that conversation.
Be nice as we go forward just to know what the benefit package for our staff is.
And that was that Sun Life or Manulife? Who was it?
Sun Life, I think,
Yeah.
manages our pension plan now.
Yeah,
Sun
but-
Life has your pension, and if you have them for benefits, then they have a separate name they use.
I can't remember now.
Yeah.
See, I'm Great West Life, which is now owned by Canada Life, so they've all consolidated.
Now Blue Cross
Blue
does
Cross
our
doesn't know.
Oh.
medical, and
Oh, Blue
yeah,
Cross
that
does it
side
now?
of it, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think there is, we have been, Sierra and I've had this discussion that we are above average user of some of our plans on our pension side too, with LTD and stuff like that.
Really has a lot to be engaged too.
Okay, yeah, get them in someday. ATV excess,
So back to the salary.
Oh, salary, yeah, well,
We're
we
just
just,
gonna table that till.
but yeah, we can't make a decision. I think we need to talk to Ed too.
Okay.
And the director.
I think they're low personally. I think they're low because of what's happening with everything else. You're gonna have to start mid-range probably.
And you can put on a list of who's gone as a result of what's happened over the last year with COVID, see who else is, to get a feel for where the rates are headed.
I need to tell you what Dexter's paying just for a truck driver.
I think that's why he kept the local as the scale
Yeah,
instead.
yeah,
Instead of outside.
but it makes it tough for small municipal units to come up with funding.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's where understanding your benefits are important. That's the sale of it, right?
Yeah, local contractors, I don't, if any, or very few are paying or providing benefits or pension plans, so there is that, we do have that.
So these ones that were quoted in the report are companies that would provide pension, or not pension, I'm sorry, benefits to their employees, so, just so you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, those ones would. No, when you have a discussion, tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I will.
We, at some point, need to make decisions whether to throw it in the budget and see
Yeah.
what the budget's gonna look like. But if we're doing public works, then we can look at town hall, so. ATV.
Over here. I was approached by somebody who I believe is on the local ATV association, and they were asking me if council would consider having a discussion or having a presentation by ATV Nova Scotia about granting, I guess, a trail access piece from over where the trail ends down, where the old IGA is, up to about here, where the old rail bed would start up again.
Yeah, we haven't had that discussion, but yeah, we can invite them in.
They cited the fact that Weymouth has, done one, and it's benefited a couple of the businesses down there. The Mercantile, I think, is the one that probably benefits most from it, and that Yarmouth is looking at it as well. But I would hazard a guess, and sort of took this from what they told me, that it has to do with them blocking off the trail and behind the tavern. And as best they know, it's not even users from their organization that have been the ones tearing through there. So it's still probably going to continue to happen. But unfortunately, losing access there has made it a little harder for them to entertain having groups or anything like that participate in anything. So
A week ago, it must have been after Montreal lost the game, because there was two ATVs over here by the Digby station doing burnouts in the grass. I pulled in and cut them off and get out of the car. They were just young kids. Had a little conversation with them, and they just quietly drove away. Yeah, invite them in. We've had that conversation with that individual a number of times.
Okay, Keith?
Yeah,
Okay.
Weymouth was an experiment with the province, because that's a provincial highway.
Okay.
That's why that is happening.
Well, and
Yeah.
what he had said to me was he thought we might have to approach the province if we went to approve it. I told him I didn't really know how
No,
any
it's-
of that worked.
It's our street. If the province says we need to approach them, then they come down here and pave that
I
street.
thought it was under the traffic authority.
Yeah, we have to have that conversation with RCMP.
Has to approve.
No, I will add one thing if I
Yeah.
may.
Yep, oh, yes.
So I know that the active transportation grant that we just applied for has what's for an active transportation study. In that study is to connect the trail here, so just so you're aware. It is, part of that study will be to make that connection for that link, so.
Used to be a train go down there, so.
Yeah.
And that street was one way at one time. Actually, there was a picture in the Courier not too long ago, or not the Courier, but online, it was the one-way sign was here, and the car coming up the street was me.
Yeah, put it on there.
You put it on there, and that was me in the car, my car. But yeah, we can have that conversation. The loop is important now, especially when they have lost it. But we have quite often 2025 come in respectfully, come in and park here. And actually, they've come right up, parked up in here and gone to the restaurants.
Yeah.
And then when they left, they're a good bunch.
They,
Yeah.
they, came to council a number of years, not too many years ago, and that was part of their, they wanted to do, and
Yeah,
they
they
allowed them to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, in Yarmouth, I did see that and council was in favor of it, making it work. But I think they had some challenges getting from the provincial highway to their streets or something, so they needed the province to allow or something. I forget the story I read.
They're always gonna get a few rotten apples. Who's
Oh,
gonna-
Yeah, so you can't shut it down because of, but I know the two young guy and girl were quite surprised to see this old man hauling over. Didn't have it that day. But they were doing burnouts over there, it just said there, we don't need that, so. If you're talking to Keith, invite him in.
Yeah.
You've been here before, but invite him in, yeah. And we can inform them that we are, because it is our active transportation plan. Yeah, I think they should put, like they do in Europe, a lot of places, put the lights on, signal lights, the highway, high pressure tires, and put them on the road. We put a kid on, I've said this for years, we put a kid on, a 16-year-old kid on a 600cc Honda racing bike and say, go and have fun. We see a four-wheeler going down the road, we want to
Pull them over.
pull them over. So, they're not designed for highway, but they can, you can buy highway kits and take those big balloon tires off and all that stuff. But anyway, but they're no good in the mud then. Okay, Leslie, you wanna do some payroll, you wanna be able to pay people.
Well, this is
Yeah.
typically the motion that Tom will bring forward every year, usually April this time of year, so that, because of the delay in the budget process, we usually try to do this spending authority business continuity motion to allow us to spend, so that council will approve half of last year's operating budget in the amount of $2,140,000 for the purpose of providing spending authority and business continuity in the fiscal year beginning April 1st, 2022, until the full operating budget is presented and approved by council.
If we approve that, we might just keep it at that for the year.
Okay. It's up to you.
But that is why, because we do have commitments and bills to pay until we finalize the budget. So does anybody got any questions on that? If we do, we have to have if we want to move ahead, we have to have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the spending authority budget, continuing budget for 22-23, an amount of $2,140,608.
That'll keep the power company happy and staff happy.
We do it every year.
Yeah, it's just, this is, well, we've been through it, very common to have to do this for units, so they can get the budget done, like they're doing, so. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any nays, none. Senior safety. Any questions on senior safety?
That's the budget that we had discussed at
Yeah.
one of the previous meetings.
Yeah, I just closed it by mistake, but what was it, 1,400 or something? How much was it? 1,800, yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, the total budget, I mean.
Well, 1,800 might be a little low.
No, I just thought there was a little increase in there.
Oh, okay.
There is a little increase in there.
Yeah, there's a 4% increase over last year.
Yeah. And I asked about it, and just the ongoing costs, fuels, everything, all that kind of stuff, so. They, wanting us to approve that budget now?
I'll move that we do that if we need to.
Are you on senior safety?
Nope.
Who's on senior safety? You are.
Can I make a comment about it first?
Oh, yes, you can comment.
Not even senior safety, but I guess more specifically the senior safety coordinator that, well, unfortunately of late we've had to talk a few more times at the other role that I hold, and she's been fantastic at passing along information to try and assist us to help some of the clients and some of the folks in the community who have been put in bad spots by individuals or who have fallen for things that, you know, you don't want them to. And, it's been good to have that connection, especially recently.
Been some rather large ones recently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the message doesn't get out there, and when you have a senior that's living alone and gets that, we're gonna call the RCMP on you if you don't transfer this, or they get sucked into Bitcoin.
COVID has really played into that.
Oh,
Made
mental
them
health.
more isolated.
I received a phone call Friday night, I won $3.5 million, and it only cost me a $250 gift card at the drugstore, so.
Just wanna remind you that Karen's a terminal too.
Yes,
Okay.
you're welcome to share that. But that's, yeah.
Yeah, no, senior safety has been a good program, yeah. So is senior safety looking for approval tonight? Or just warning us?
I would say we're looking for approval.
Approval, okay.
I'll put that back on the table though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 4% is not out of the line, so probably actually with,
0.1% below?
yeah. Is there a seconder to that?
Second.
Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? So now we go into the fun part of the evening, we need a motion to go in camera. We got a number of things here.
So moved.
All second? All those in favor of us going in camera?
Aye.
For the camera, I had Robert's rules here and someone took it off my desk. Guess they didn't want us to.
That went with Frank.
Then the Gregory took that during the police meeting.
Probably, no, I got a new copy after Frank left. I don't know why Frank would have.
He followed it, not to see what it was.
Okay, so we're out of camera. So there's.
Motion for the,
To increase the rent.
Yeah. So,
And that
I'll
was-
make a motion that for the first 6 months, we increase the rent to $600 per month. And for the 18 months following, we increase it to $700 per month for the place at 53, what street is that?
53 Mount Street.
53 Mount Street.
And
And
to
they,
change, to change from yearly to monthly.
yes.
Yeah.
For a term of 2 years.
2 years.
Right, with the 2 years.
Is there a seconder to that?
Second.
Okay, and there'll be discussion on whether there's still interest in purchasing the building?
Yeah, there will also.
And, if there's hiccups with either one, then we can come back and discuss the future of the building. All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. That was the last thing on the agenda, so. Time to go home. So, anyway, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.